the Avs make a sneaky good move, and this move has serious implications as a one-for-one prospect trade sends very strong hockey talent to the Colorado Avalanche organization, and with the hope that this particular player is due for a breakout season in the world of professional hockey, having him in the Colorado Avalanche organization is going to be huge for the team. And we're going to break down everything surrounding this trade, as well as this new player who is now within the Colorado Avalanche organization right here today on Avalanche Digest. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Mark Robinson. Happy to be with you today, breaking down this trade for the Avs that went down yesterday. Just everything surrounding this particular player and why it's going to be crucial to have him within the Avs organization, and talk a little bit as well about his stats and what he brings to the table, both at an AHL level and as well as potentially an NHL level. But before we do so, I want to remind you guys to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. If you love Avalanche hockey, if you love the NHL, please hit that subscribe button. Continue to support the fastest growing channel for Colorado Avalanche news, updates, rumors, and reports. 81% of our viewers on Avs Digest on a daily basis not subscribed to the channel, in comparison to a mere almost 19% of you who are watching our videos every day but are also subscribed. So please join that small 19% group. Hit that subscribe button. Join the Avs Digest family. Thank you guys all so much for your support. We appreciate it so much, and we're so glad to have such a strong community that appreciates us covering the Avs and giving you our thoughts and opinions on the team on a daily basis. Without further ado, let's dive into this one-for-one prospect trade between the Colorado Avalanche and the San Jose Sharks. The Avs send Oskar Olausson, a forward playing primarily with the Eagles in the AHL, over to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for another AHL prospect, a forward as well, Daniil Gushkin from the San Jose Barracuda. Apologies if I'm pronouncing either of these names incorrectly, but I believe I do have the pronunciations correct. But either way, a small, just kind of feels like maybe could get brushed under the rug type of a trade. Just a one-for-one minor league trade between the Avs and the Sharks. Oskar Olausson goes to the Sharks. Daniil Gushkin comes to the Avs. But like I said, more notably, this is more of an Eagles and Barracuda type of trade, because we're going to most likely see Daniil playing for the Eagles on our side of things, and I'm sure that Oskar will be joining the San Jose Barracuda, the AHL affiliate of the San Jose Sharks. So just kind of a highly touted prospect swap, as according to this post on X, formerly known as Twitter. The Avs get Daniil, the Sharks get Oskar, and with that, let's break down these two guys' stats and just what they've been able to do playing for the AHL affiliate of these two NHL teams. And then we'll dive a little bit more into the specifics around Daniil Gushkin and what he's going to offer for both the Eagles and potentially the Colorado Avalanche. So taking a look at Oskar Olausson's stats, he was drafted in the first round by the Avs a few years back, and he's been playing, like I said, primarily with the Eagles. He has bounced up and played a handful of games with the Colorado Avalanche, but primarily been playing in the AHL. So in 2022-23, he had one game with the Avs, made his debut in the NHL, but did not tally any points or anything like that. Just a very quiet rookie lap, NHL debut type of situation. But in that same season, in the 2022-23 season with the Eagles, he had 63 games, 11 goals, and 9 assists for 20 points. As well as in the playoffs, 6 games, 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points. So, not a lot going on as far as the playoffs go for the Eagles that year, but, able to get a little bit of AHL playoff experience is Oskar Olausson. And then, those following years, 39 games for the Eagles, 11 points, 9 assists, the exact same stat pad in less games. And then in the most recent season, 2024-25, 61 games, 11 goals, 15 assists, had his highest points on the season with the Eagles. But he was sent over to the San Jose Barracuda. So, we're looking at a guy who hasn't really been able to produce crazy numbers in the AHL, and he's been pulled up and he's played a few games with the Avs, but, not seeing a lot of production out of Olausson, not, where you want an ideal forward that's bouncing between the AHL and the NHL to be at as far as offensive production goes, especially playing at the forward position. But more notably, let's take a closer look at Daniil Gushkin's stats and what he has been able to do in the AHL for the Barracuda, and then what those stats are going to potentially be seen as to how he's going to, be able to implicate those and how he's going to be able to have strong skills in the Avalanche organization. So, has started off with the San Jose Sharks, playing primarily with the Barracuda, the AHL affiliate. So if you look at starting in the 2022-23 season, so played a few games, not very many, only 2 with the Sharks in that season, and actually put up a few, stats in the NHL, 1 goal and 1 assist for 2 total points. Obviously not a lot, but it's more than Oscar Olausson was able to do with the Avs in his time so far. And then you look at the 2023-24 season, played in 4 games, had that same stat pad, 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. And then in the AHL in those T seasons, going back to the 2022-23 season, had 67 games, 22 goals and 23 assists for 45 points. That's over double what Oscar Olausson was able to do in the AHL for the Colorado Avalanche. And then this last season, 56 games, 20 goals, 34 assists for 54 points. So this, that 2 seasons ago in less games was able to produce more points. His career high in the AHL, 54 points, which is very strong. Playing in the AHL. And then in this most recent season, the 2024-25 season, that is for the San Jose Sharks, played in 12 NHL games, so has a lot more NHL experience behind him. Didn't score any goals, got 1 assist in this last season. And then in the AHL, tied his career high in games played, had a career high in goals and also 23 assists for 51 points. So right up there in the most points scored in his AHL career, and then got some AHL playoff experience as well. 4 games, 1 goal, no assists, only 1 point in the playoff experience that he had. But, looking at the stats of Daniil Gushkin, and then considering the fact that he's now coming to the Avs organization, is going to be playing primarily with the Colorado Eagles, he was able to produce pretty strong numbers and be in that, low 40, high 40, low 50 point range playing with the Barracuda, and putting that production, to work in the Colorado Eagles organization. That's going to hopefully really help with the development of Daniil Gushkin's game. A very strong offensive player, very satisfying to watch on the ice, very swift movements. And if he can continue to improve, as well as maybe get some reps with a stronger, higher ranked, higher skilled, deeper Colorado Avalanche team as compared to the San Jose Sharks, who finished, bottom of the league over the last 2-3 years. That could be huge for, his personal development as a player. And so, pardon me there, not sure what's going on with updating the image, but either way, Daniil Gushkin leaving the Sharks organization as the AHL affiliate, Barracuda's all-time leading scorer, 150 points in 182 regular season games. Obviously just talked a little bit about his stats with the actual Sharks, had an opportunity with them at the start of last season, but the additions to the team that the Sharks made in the last few weeks kind of closed the door of him trying to get into the actual Sharks roster. So getting him on the Colorado Avalanche roster, going to be big, and it's going to hopefully, allow him to try to break out as a player as well. And then, taking a look at this take from Megan Angley, a Colorado Avalanche beat reporter for Guerrilla Sports, acquiring him and having that 28 goals, 23 assists, 51 points last year with the Barracuda. He's 23 years old. He's young. He has 3 consecutive 20-goal seasons in the AHL since becoming a professional hockey player. He's coming from, the San Jose Barracuda. That's a very hard forechecking and a very puck-pursuing team. This is going to hopefully bolster the Colorado Eagles' top 6, but more notably, I think something that is very notable about this trade and something that should be kept a close eye on is the fact that the Avs and the Eagles are a big fan of, trading players back and forth and allowing players to come up and try to really find their potential in the NHL. One story that I obviously like to refer to is Sam Malinsky played a lot with the Eagles, started out in the AHL, got pulled up and was playing with the Avs in his early days with Colorado. And he really proved himself. And, he's now under a multi-million-dollar contract, a short-term contract, but still playing in the NHL full-time. And, for a guy who had multiple 20-goal seasons and, understands offensive production in the AHL, Daniil Gushkin, who also signed that 1 year, $775,000 league minimum contract. Now that he's within the Colorado Avalanche organization, to potentially see him come up and play some games with the Avs in that bottom six role, playing on those 3 and those 4 lines with a few of the guys that we've recently acquired for the Avs, it could really help with his player development, and we could really see him break out as a professional hockey player. So, a little bit of a smaller trade, but I'm excited to see a player like Daniil come into the Avs organization and hopefully really thrive and continue to find his potential and his skill as a professional hockey player. So another offseason move by Chris MacFarland and the Avs front office. As we always talk about, anything that's happening in the world of Colorado Avalanche hockey this offseason, trades, re-signings, free agency stuff, all of that, we're covering it here on Avs Digest. So make sure to stay tuned and look out for everything that we are covering and releasing as far as content goes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as usual. We'll check in with you guys next time something big happens in the world of Colorado Avalanche hockey.